Solomon was providing nuggets of wisdom that I believe every single human being needs to grasp, because it's going to affect some part of your life. And one thing I love about the Proverbs is that they're so real and practical. We're actually taking the time to go through this first chapter of Proverbs and look at what Solomon was actually dealing with and what he was talking to us about and how it affects our lives in very specific ways. Here's another one, how I know it's that God is speaking to me and when it's in harmony. Romans 15 verse 4 says, "For whatever things were written before were written for our learning, that we, through the patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope." Isn't that wonderful? For whatever things were written, what are you talking about? Paul was writing to the Christians in Rome, and he's telling them the things that were written, which we now call the Old Testament we were still living the New Testament. It wasn't written yet at the time that he wrote this letter. So he was telling them, we read the Old Covenant, and these things were written so that for our learning. And that's how you'll know when God is speaking to you. You can look back and read what others have gone through and their life's experience. You can look at what God has already spoken. All them 636 laws and rules and regulations, was he telling them to try to live their lives by all of that? Well, Paul went into explaining all of that, but he was still telling them these things were written for our learning. Even the law itself was written for our learning, not for us to try to fulfill the law. That's why Jesus came. But it was still written there because there's some things that we understand about God as we look at the law. There's some things we understand about the purpose for Jesus coming when we look at the law. So he says these things were written for our learning. So that's why as we living everyday life, again, that word comes and lets us know that you're on track or you're off track. Wow.